Rigvedic times, the early Vedic times, there were some women who came to the limelight, and they were very special women because in those days not many women were, scholars or Brahmavadinis. In fact, very handful of them. So one of them was Gargi. Her name was Gargi Vachaknavi. She was a Rishika, and her father was a very eminent sage called Vachaknu. So this young lady, she was exceptionally brilliant thinker, and she was very independent right from the word go. She decided to forego marriage, and that must have been really huge in those days. So she decided not to marry and instead devote her time to scriptural learning. So eventually she went on to become a very highly acclaimed scholar and was conferred the title of Brahmavadini, one who is an expert on the Vedas and one who expounds the Vedas. So she was in fact, there is in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a mention of a very famous public debate. In fact, I have a photo depiction here of here, you can see that here. There is a very well-known debate between her and sage Yajnavalkya. He was a very renowned sage of that time. And she posed such brilliant questions to him that he was also taken aback by her sharp intellect. Although he won the debate, the questions she put forth to him were, so exceptional that it gave us very, even today we can refer to them, and that dialogue which follows between the two of them, and it remains the most celebrated dialogues of all times. And this public debate happened in the court of King Janaka. He in fact conferred on her the title of Navaratna, that is one of the gems of the court. So that was Gargi. And then there was another exceptional, and Gargi was a Rishika who composed some hymns in the Rigveda as well. And then there was Maitri. Maitri also had a strange, very thirst for learning. But again, in those days, it was very difficult for a woman to sit in front of a sage, and there would be all male students there for her to learn. So Gargi, I think she was related to Gargi, so she came up with the idea that she should marry sage Yajnavalkya, who was again the most renowned sage of that time. But how to do so, because Yajnavalkya was already married. So Gargi approached his first wife, whose name was Katyayani, and she explained to her that Maitri's real reason was to learn from her husband, and she would still be the mistress of the house. And that magnanimous lady, she agreed. So that's how she married Yajnavalkya, and she learned from him all the Vedas and scriptures. And when the time came for Yajnavalkya to leave everything and go to the forest, he called both his wives and said, I am going to leave now and I want to distribute my wealth to both of you. So Katyayani took her share and she was happy. But then Maitri asked him that, will this wealth give me immortality? So he says, of course not. No amount of wealth can give you immortality. So then she says, then I don't want that. I want to learn from you. What is it that will give me immortality? So there again follows a very celebrated dialogue between husband and wife on the doctrine of the self, which is one of the most, again, esoteric passages of all time. So these two were very exceptional women. And there was also another one called Lopamudra. She was the wife of sage Agastya, and she was also a mantra drishta, and she also she was supposed to be very beautiful, but she also was very brainy as well, so she had beauty and the brains. So she is also one of those exceptional women of the Vedic time. So, and there were others, couple of them, Apala and Ghosha, but not much is known about them. So I would say that this Gargi and Maitri are the most famous Vedic sages, women sages of our time.